Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here. Come at you with another World War II video going through some of the letters I received from some veterans that Scott Masters wrote in my stead, and I was able to interview them or have some sort of relations with them, and just asked if they would be willing to sign some personal made letters slash papers with their information and pictures on it. And many of them have obliged and sent some my way as well to a couple other people. So I thought I'd come on here and share those with you. I've had quite a backlog of those since last year, just didn't get around to it. And so usually we highlight about three or four every Wednesday. I did miss last Wednesday, just wasn't feeling well and was having technical difficulties with my phone. Still am, but I think I can, at least include the pictures portion of that, at least at the end, so you can see the close-up pictures. Because I know I've tried fixing the visual, and it still mirrors and shows the letters in reverse. I don't know how to fix that. I've looked, there's nothing in the settings. So, and my editing software doesn't fix that either. So, I can flip it where I'm on the left or the right, but that's about it. So, um, I got to figure out something for that. But I do have three letters that I picked here. So we have one longer one and two shorter ones, but no less, I think it'll be a pretty cool video. So this first one is coming back from Mr. Tom Hennessy. So there's some pictures there for you to look at if you want. It's got his signature here on the back with a note from him. So I'll read it now for you. Mr. Tom Hennessy was born May 31st, 1922. So he's just 2 days after my birthday. So that's pretty cool. We're almost birthday buddies. Uh, in Dublin, Ireland. His father was transferred to Liverpool when Tom was quite young, and then the family returned to Ireland, relocating to the small town of Scariff in County Clare. Tom attended a boarding school, Windermere, in northern England, and when he completed that, he was taking courses in Dublin. Preparing to follow his father, a Great War veteran, as a bank clerk while in Dublin, the war broke out, and Tom volunteered to become an air raid warden. When his banking exams did not go as anticipated, Tom looked for alternatives and ultimately decided to join the Royal or RAF. So I think it's the Royal Air Force. I guess yeah, it's the Royal Air Force. In short order, he was on his way doing square bashing and getting inculcated. I've never seen that word before in my life. Into the military way of life. But the RAF had plans the men were unaware of. They were sent to Greenock and put on a ship bound for Canada. After some time in Toronto, they were sent to Oklahoma, where their flight training would take place. Tom trained at British Flight Training School Number 6 right outside Ponca City. While he was there, the attack on Pearl Harbor took place, and the U.S. Joined the Allies. After training and soloing, Tom returned to Britain, where a stint at OTU followed, and Tom began to be acquainted with the Spitfire. The time to go to his squadron came next, and Tom ended up at 504 Squadron in Northern Ireland to begin. There they flew convoy escorts, and when the squadron was relocated to Middle Wallop, the men began to fly missions over France, attacking various ground targets. At this point the news came that they were headed overseas, and Tom and several of the men boarded a ship, and when they were issued shorts they knew they were headed somewhere warm, and that ended up being Malta. Tom flew as part of 249 Squadron, defending the island of Malta and attacking military targets in Sicily and Italy. As the war moved north, Tom and the squadron moved into Italy, where they flew support missions for Tito's partisans in their war against Germany. During this time he completed his 200th hour flying time, and it was time for him to go on rest. Tom was sent to the RAF base in Ismailia, Egypt, where he was involved in gunnery training. While there he had the chance to visit Palestine, where he was able to locate his brother's grave. VE Day also happened during that trip. With the war over, Tom was posted in India for a time, where he trained for expected action in the Pacific War against Japan. But the dropping of the atomic bombs ended that possibility, and he was dispatched back to Britain. Tom spent some time there, reconnecting with family, trying to find his place on Civvy Street. Unhappy with his prospects, he saw an advertisement for Ontario, and he made the decision to immigrate to Canada. A few years later, Tom decided to pursue a career in education, where he remained for the next 30 or so years up until his retirement. Today, he remains a teacher and an advocate for Veterans Affairs, an ideal that prompted him to start his Walk of Gratitude. To benefit today's veterans, Scott Masters had the good fortune to interview Tom Hennessy at his home in Bayfield, Ontario in August 2022. So here's also a little note that he wrote back. I'll try and read it best I can. It says, "Hi Caleb, I have many, many happy memories of the, I'm not sure what that is. Many of the, I'm not sure. We spent training in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Maybe, I think maybe it's of the USA, maybe. 80 years ago. The folks there were so good to me. Sincerely, Tom Hennessy." 2nd of March 2023. And uh, we were in something close as this war before Pearl Harbor. I'm not sure what the last part there, but very cool. I'll have to take a closer look at that. But yeah, again, there's the pictures. So very cool from Mr. Tom Hennessy. He also included an extra signed card of his. Um, it's kind of like a business card, I guess. So very cool. Uh-oh, my dog's barking. That's wonderful. Making a racket. Next up, we have Harold Curl. I don't believe we've read this one yet. He was born in Cardston, Alberta, and he served as a Royal Canadian Air Force bomber pilot during the Second World War, flying missions mainly in Halifax bombers. His older brother, Eldon Curl, died in 1944 when his Lancaster was shot down. 2 weeks later, Harold completed his training as a pilot, going on to fight in his own war. He also wrote a note down here that says, "Dear Caleb, for several years, air crew associates met each Thursday. These associations were held throughout the British Isles. The numbers attended has decreased, so the meetings ended. However, the Calgary Association continued. Many guest speakers exchanged worthwhile information. Both friendships have not ceased. You might like to watch the DVD Brothers in Arms about two veterans of World War II, my brother Eldon and myself, Harold Kirill. Many schools have seen this DVD to educate the youth." So there's a DVD out there, Brothers in Arms, that's about him and his brother. Thank you for your dedicated interest. And there's a signature down below. Again, there's the photos. Very cool. And finally, we have Mr. Burton Lieberman. Grew up in the Pittsburgh area. His father had come to the United States early in the 20th century, escaping the pogroms in Lithuania. Burton grew up against the backdrop of the Great Depression and the war. Well aware of what was happening around the world, he turned 18 in 1944, and he chose the U.S. Navy. He first served in the Atlantic, where he was on a destroyer doing convoy duty. At the end of the war in Europe, he was transferred to the Pacific, where he expected his ship would take part in the invasion of Japan. The atomic bombs ended that possibility, but Burton remained in Japan, serving in the occupation force for 1 year. He returned home, bought a convertible, and found his place in post-war American life. And he also put a note, I'll try and read here. To Caleb, thanks for your interest in my short naval career. You really don't have to something very very far to be surrounded by rich history. I think look very far to be surrounded by rich history in the development of the early U.S. So very cool. And again, I don't think we read that one yet, but again, there's the pictures and the signatures right here. And again, I'll put pictures at the end for you to see, so they'll be the letters will not backwards. So thanks for watching, everybody. I do hope you enjoyed. And again, thank you to Scott for being willing to do this. If you want to check out his links, they are all down below for you to go see what he's been up to and what he's doing. You can also see, I believe he also has a lot of the interviews up online for you to listen to or watch. Also, there's the Veterans Breakfast Club, which meets several times a week for live streams. You can also watch them through Facebook or YouTube and other platforms. I think even TikTok, they have little shorts. You can also watch them there. They have regular programs, so if you are interested in those kinds of things, you can definitely click on the link that's down below for that as well on their YouTube channel and their website. Also, just thank you to everybody for watching, and hope you have a great day. Thank you again to these veterans for their service and for being willing to send something my way. Really appreciate it. It would be a wonderful addition to the ever-growing World War II collection. And talk to you guys later. Bye.